Eggman here. It is December 6th, the day before the new set comes out, and I'm being lazy this set, and I'm just going to go to the game, and I'm just going to hit this button, I'm just going to hit crafting, and I'm just going to go from left to right. So, first card. Barkskin. Actually, I also need to get up some of those cards have the bonus effects. Let me get those up real quick. While I'm doing that, let me see. Alright, Barkskin, give a minion plus 3 health, gain 3 armor. So that seems pretty good for this kind of like there's the mage or the priest has a card that the 1 mana gain or heal 5 and then heal to your or heal friendly minion by 5, and then I think you heal your face for 5, right? And so this is kind of comparable to that. It's a little bit less, but it's because it's persistent health and also armor. So you can always, with the priest one, you have some issues with if your minion doesn't need 5 health, or if you have your full health, you can't get anything, but you can get stuff off this. I think Druid has some new stuff that depended on how much armor they have as well. So I think this card is okay. I don't know, let's keep going. Alright. Let me get this ready. Alright. So these are the spell stones that you can do. So every time you gain 3 armor, so like if you play that one spell, you update it to doing 4 damage to a minion. So if you played on turn 2, you could deal 4 damage to a minion, have a plus 3 health minion, and get 3 armor. So that's a pretty good turn 1, turn 2. So let's say you turn 1 Firefly, and then you could do this and kill whatever they make. You'd have a 1/5 Firefly and 3 armor. So that's kind of interesting. Just right off the bat, something you can do for that. And I'm also reading this flavor text for the first time. Alright, Greedy Sprite. Sparkliest in the set. Sparkliest of the 7 deadly sprites. Death Rattle gain an empty mana crystal. Druid has quite a bit of mana gain right now, but at least 2 sources are going to be rotating out. The Mire Keeper and Jade Lotus. Both of those are rotating out, so it's helpful to get another one. I think this is also good because it doesn't immediately get you more mana. I think it kind of balances out of you get a minion and then the minion gives you mana afterwards. It's a death rattle instead of a battle cry. So I think that kind of balances out, because the other ways that Druid gains mana right now is their immediate gain mana, and this is off a condition, so there's kind of some counterplay around it. Alright, Astral Tiger. So this is pretty much like, I don't know, like Druid, they don't like Druid milling themselves apparently, because before Jade Idol there's no way to go infinite, and now they have another way to go infinite when Jade Idol rotates out. And this also, unlike Jade Idol, there's not a direct counter to it. You can silence it and it goes away, but I don't know, I think it's better than Jade Idol going infinite, because that can just make, you know, a 10/10 man, a 11/11 man. So it's better that it's just a constant 4 mana 3/5, but It stops mill decks, which is not fun to me, at least. All right, there's Branching Paths. 4 mana, choose Trice. Draw a card, give your minion +1 attack, or gain 6 armor. And I took the one less travel by, and I got eaten by a slime. So I'm not sure if this is kind of like a Gazaka's potion, where you get the 3 options, you pick one, and you get all 3 again. And I'm not sure if it's been do that, because if you do this and you draw 2 cards, that's cool. It's a 1 more mana Arcane Intellect. You can give your minions +1 attack, so you can do that twice and give all your minions that. Or you can gain 12 armor. And any combinations of one of those would be good. So if the only other thing about this is it has rivals with swipe at the 4 mana slot, and I don't know, we'll see if this gets any play. I'm a bit curious. I don't know, it's just one of those things, like there's a lot of, like, it's a good card, but it's not like, it doesn't have anything to build around, right? Like it doesn't, it's just a good card, you know what I mean? So we'll see if it makes its way into real decks. Alright, Ironwork Golem. I like this card. I think this card's at least really, really cool in design. So it's a 4 mana 3/6 taunt, so it's like Shield Master, but with 1 more health, and can't attack if you have 3, or can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. Druid can get armor quickly, like that. And there's a couple other ways in other sets where it can do that. But even if it's just a big old taunt on turn 4, that's great. Like, Tar Creeper is fantastic as a 3 mana 3/5. So I think this will be good. They showed off the Druid taunt deck, and I really want that deck to work. I really like the spider in Frozen Thrones. What's her name? I really like Hadronox. I think it's a cool card. And the idea of going to Hadronox, having it dying, and then getting N'Zoth, getting a bunch of death rattles, and Hadronox dying and getting a 3rd. I think that's a really cool, fun combo. So, and this coming back from that is cool. So, there's that. Alright, gain 4 armor, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. So, this is kind of like the portal that it has in Karazhan, because it's 6 mana, restore 6 health, and summon a random 6 cost minion. And for 2 mana less, you get armor instead of health, which I think armor is better in general, and you get to recruit a minion from your deck that's 4 or less. So if Druid does the same thing they do, that they don't have minions before turn 3, this is pretty good consistently, of knowing what you get. You can get this guy, and then he can attack next turn because you'll have 6 armor. And yeah. Is that the only? Okay, I didn't think that was the only page. Okay, something new this set. Every class gets weapons. So this is the Druid weapon. It's a 1/5 on turn 4. When it dies, you gain 10 mana crystals, and so it's really cool. It kind of gets you like a Coon effect whenever you want, because so let's say you use your 10 mana crystals this turn, and then this Twig of the World Tree dies, then you get 10 more. So you can play 20 mana worth of stuff in 1 turn. So I think that's really cool. I think it's a cool effect. It also plays around, like, it's good if you have more than 10 mana, you can play around it by just destroying it on your turn if you're playing against it, because they'll just get 10 mana crystals. But if you play it like turn 4 to 5, or 4 or 6, it's really good in that regard. But it's also cool because Druid doesn't really have a way to destroy its own weapons right now, because it doesn't have another weapon to play over it. I guess they're best if they have this and they play like Medivh the Guardian. That's the big play. I can see that actually. Maybe that actually sounds really good, because then you could do that, and then you could play UI, and so for 8 mana you have an 8 mana and then a 5/5 and a 10 mana card. I gotta try that actually. That sounds really good. Let's see. This guy we also saw on the stream. If you play minions, so I'm gonna copy of it. So this is kind of like a combo thing that's starting to see. You could set up, especially with Trigger the World Tree. So let's say you do this, and then you play, let's say Malagos, right? Malagos, and then you get another Malagos. Or sorry, you can play Malagos if you destroy the World Tree, and then not destroy the World Tree, destroy the Trig of the World Tree, and then you can do like Moonfires for like 12 each. All right, Gristle Guardian. So this is a taunt and a death rattle, so that it works with Hadronox and N'Zoth. Recruit 2 minions that cost 4 or less. And so we kind of saw this on stream. It's a 3/5 that can summon like 2 more 3/5s, let's say. And so that's what, 9/15 for 8 mana. That's pretty good. And just that has taunt and the way that Druid can taunt up this set. And you can, this guy and this guy you can both find off of Tortolan Shell Razor, and so I think that's good as well. Alright, that's it for, I didn't actually read any of these. Let's see, this is, the guild use oak trees until they all turn to ash. For druids who want to branch out, we suggest crafting, looks like he'll grow on you, literally. And favorite sandwich, grizzled cheese. Alright, let's go to Hunter. Alright, 1 mana weapon. One's called Candelar, short bow of the ancient whisker. 1 mana, 1/3 weapon. I think that's good. Even for the fact that like Hunter doesn't have a 1/3 minion. Like all of Hunter's 1 mana minions all have 1 health, and they really just have kind of weak turn 1s. So I think this is good. I think this is good for keeping control. It's good for how Hunters have their new archetype of not having any minions in their deck, and let's keep going. So here's a new Hunter secret, Wandering Monster. Not all who wander are lost. This one is lost though, for sure. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as a new target. So looking at 3-cost minions right now, and let's just say standard cards, there are quite a bit. The best case would be the Shaman 2/8. Yeah, this guy, that'd be awesome. That's an awesome swing. And then there's always 1/1s or 1/5s, or I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's, Soul Fiend would be good. I mean, Humongous Razor Leaf would be alright. What was the, actually what did it say? Summon a 3-cost minion when it attacks. Yeah, so if even if it's a Humongous Razor Leaf, it's still like a big 4/8 that will probably kill whatever it was swinging. So we also have Cave Hydra. Can be upgraded into a Cave Lurker. Damage the minion next to whoever minions. Okay, so we've seen this effect a couple times. It's usually been on kind of like big bulky guys that normally die as soon as they're summoned. So to have it on something kind of smaller, or kind of something just small and weak for the mana and the attack, is interesting, and we'll see how that does. Especially because Hunter doesn't have as much board clear, and so if you play this down, it threatens the chance to do 2 damage to all minions. So, alright, Flanking Strike. Deal 3 damage to a minion, summon a 3/3 wolf. So this is kind of, I compare this kind of to Jade Lightning, because it deals damage and summons a guy. You can't target their face, which is okay because Hunter can do that a lot anyways. It plays into the fact that it's technically a 3/3 wolf that says when you summon this, deal 3 damage to something, which is good for the Hunter deck. Wolves to the left, arrows to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. That's funny. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Alright, we've got... Alright, here's the spell stones for this guy. Alright, so this just pretty much gets you more wolves, and it depends on playing secrets, which is also... They pretty much played this deck on stream of the no minion deck. And so just a way to summon minions without them actually being minions is valuable. Playing a secret is really easy to do because Hunter is playing secrets because they're not minions, and so I don't know if I don't know. The 3/3 stat line's okay. I mean, it's just a flame strike away from getting killed, but I think it's good to try. It definitely puts pressure. Kind of forces a board clear, but the only thing is because you only have minions in your deck, or you don't have any minions in your deck, your opponent's probably going to, if they have board clears in their deck, they're just going to be stale in their hand. And so if you play this, it just forces them to play their board clear, but the board clear is kind of useless anyways. So, because if you're playing the second your mage and you have Flame Strike, you're like, oh, they're not playing minions, so I guess this Flame Strike's not going to do anything, and it's going to be stuck in my hand for a long time, and then, excuse me, they'll just use it. So I don't know. We'll see. Alright, Battlecry Dane, the Death Rattle of random minion in your deck. So I think this card is really interesting. The big thing for me is that Hunter already has a 6 mana dude with a really good Death Rattle, which is Fana Highmane, and it's a 6 mana 6/5, and it has the Beast tag. So it's going to be hard to push this out because you don't want too many 6 mana cards, and if you get rid of Highmane, then I don't know. Then what will you copy, right? Will you get like? I guess you get the rat that summons 1/1s based on your attack, but I don't know. We'll see if this works out. Alright, to my side, you summon an animal companion, or 2 if your deck has 2 minions. This, a lot of people are memeing on this card to, just because it's strictly, it just seems really bad for 6 mana because it's like playing 2 animal companions, and you have to have like a deck condition for it to be equal to 2. The other thing I don't really know about this card is if you can get 2 Huffers or not. I'm not sure if they're random every time, or you pick 2 of the 3 that you can summon. It looks like it will be good in the deck with no minions, and otherwise it's bad. Could be worse. It's worse. It's Crushing Wall. Destroy your opponent's left and right most minions. So this is like the first time that Hunter has had any like direct power to kill. It's good for positioning wise because I think that's something a lot of people sleep on. They just kind of put the cards down because they're really easy to. You get to destroy 2 minions, which are good. I say the only thing about this is Hunter has a hard time positioning minions or making it easy to destroy minions. Since once again they don't have a lot of killing power, but I think this is interesting. I think it's good. I think if Control Hunter is a thing, this card needs to be a thing. So, because this card probably won't do anything because it's such a high mana cost at 7. Probably won't do good in aggro or mid-range Hunter. All right, the Hunter legendary weapon, Rock Dalar. Rock Dalar is ready to rock the Casbah. If your deck has no minions, fill your hands with Hunter spells. So this card's really interesting that you get to... It pretty much is card draw for Hunter, which Hunter never gets. You have to have the silly condition of no minions in your deck, which is pretty much the archetype they want you to build right now and see if it's good. It does 8 damage over 2 turns, which is good. Pretty much if the no minions in deck is good, then this is good. So, and this is like the exact opposite. she summons 2 minions in your deck, which means that you have at least 3 minions in your deck for this to be good. Because her and 2 others. So it's really interesting to see this clash of ideals of having like no minions in your deck compared to having like several, or they're beasts too, like several good minions in your deck to make this worth it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. They didn't showcase this kind of recruit stuff, so I'm gonna say I think I like the idea of the no minion deck is more interesting to me for sure. We'll see if the kind of people have been saying like big hunter decks take off. All right. Next turn, this is going to be amazing. So this is a really weird card because it also doesn't have a mana cost. I guess it just costs 0. Actually, and also I'm going to take a quick drink. So, I mean, it's almost an auto-include for the... I feel like Mage got like a lot of support for their quest because there's this card... let's see. There's the Lesser Ruby Spellstone. There's... I don't know if Deck of Wonders also contributes to spells you played, but yeah, a lot of spell generation support, which is interesting. So this is Primordial Glyph, but you don't get to choose every turn. It's kind of like that. And what's the 1 mana legendary from Old Gods? It's like Sifter's Eris, but just a mage card. Let's see. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost. I think this card is really good. It's elemental, which is good. We've already been seeing some Lich Queen? Death Knight, Mage, Jaina. It's Frost Lich, that's what it is. Frost Lich, Jaina. Doing really good, but just not having any like armor gain. So this will help with that. That deck's running big spells, and it's also elemental for synergy with that, so I think that will fit good there. I mean, this is pretty much Cabalist's Tome, right? But excuse me. Oh, let me get the. I think they just add a spell every time. Right. Okay. Yeah, they just add a spell every time you play a spell. So, I mean, this is going to really quickly get upgraded all the way. Oh, wait, sorry. It's play 2 elementals and then play 2 more. So, alright, I thought it said play spells. So I think this would be good in like the Jaina deck, because a lot of the time, if you don't live forever, you try to go to fatigue, and if you get cards generated to not go into fatigue. We can also see like a hybrid elemental Lich King style deck, but then also it turns into spells like with Arcane Giants and that Arcane Giant version. So I don't know. So this is like the first Joust card we've seen in a long time. But it's pretty much like the Joust card that Hunter got. So it's like this Elec here. Just if yours is better, then you draw it. And mages are running a lot of spells, and a lot of them can be very expensive, and so chances are yours will be more expensive, because even like some decks don't play spells, like Zoo decks play like 1 mana cards. So I think this is good. It's going to be hard against Druid because you might get UI, but you could also get Innervate. But consistently, a 2/2 that can draw you a card half the time, I think is okay. It's a Beast too, which is interesting. Explosive Ruin, or Runes. Wait, what does it say? Quoth the Raven. Does your cost more? Ethereal Armor dissipates in 6 hours, which can cause extreme awkwardness for first-time buyers. Alright. Sometimes it's safer not to read the warning signs. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it, any access and any access to their hero. So this is pretty much saying, like, if played on curve, it just kills your opponent's minions, and also, like, it could be like a better fireball for removal, right? Because it also costs 3 mana and overflows. Excuse me. But I'm interested, and people have been talking about Divine Shield too. How does that work? Does it do 0 to them and then does 6 to your opponent hero, or does it do 6 to the Divine Shield? I don't know. I think my thought is it do 6 damage and just pop the Divine Shield, but we'll see. Leyline Manipulator. The short distance between 2 points is a ley line. If you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. Mage is like really good at generating cards right now, especially spells, and so a Chillwind Yeti, first of all, is good. 2, the Chillwind Yeti reduces some of the cost of the cards in your hands. Like if you get like a Primordial Glyph into a Pyroblast, that's already at 8 mana, and then you play this, it's a 6 mana Pyroblast. That's crazy. That's super low. And also it has the elemental tag, so that's just good. I think that's good. So, and I think I'm not sure how it works with cards that cost more than 5. Because if you if the card is normally a 5 mana card, but you cast it for 3, did you technically cast the 5 mana spell? I'm thinking no, but they do weird stuff with mana cost depending on like what its original cost is. Because like when they do with the Shulkin Geist, it's the base cost of 1. It doesn't mean cost 1 right now, so that's something to look out for too. Deck of Wonders, pick a card. Any card. Wait, no, not that one. Last words of previous owner. So this one's really interesting. You just shuffle 5 scrolls in your deck and you cast a random spell. And I think the casting is part of, like, you've cast a random 5 mana spell there. I don't see this seeing any competitive play, but I can see it being like a jank. Something like a fun deck. Just putting these in there and see what happens. It's kind of like Yogg, right? But I don't know. It seems no matter of consistency or doesn't help you. Where the deck does it show what mana cost? Oh, these are 5. So maybe, can you draw? So you could go into Raven Familiar, into the Scroll of Wonder, you cast it, and then you draw another card. That's interesting. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this works, but there's a lot of RNG involved. Dragon's Fury. Reveal a card from your deck, deal damage to it equal to its cost to all minions. And so that, I guess that also makes it good for this, because it puts a bunch of 5 mana cards in your deck and can get consistency through there. What's the thing? Come on, Hucklemuck. She'll never notice if we just take 1 coin. A Luneth. A 0/3 6 mana weapon. Phenomenal arcane power. Itty bitty living space. A reference to Aladdin there. The end of your turn, draw 3 cards. That sounds good. Like on the surface, people are like, oh, so you just keep getting to draw 3 cards. That seems really good. The downside to me with this card is that it's super easy to overdraw, and it also costs 6 mana to play, right? So I can see it being a trouble for... trying to think what kind of deck would play this, because a control deck wouldn't want to play this because you could deck yourself. It'd have to be some sort of OTK where you have to draw all the combo pieces, but I don't know. And you can't get rid of it either because it's a 0/3, right? You can't attack with 0 attack, so it's interesting. We'll see if it gets played. And then lastly, Dragoncaller Alana. Summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you've cast this game that costs 5 or more. This is really good and also really bad against like priest decks because you summon a bunch of 5/5s that are dragons, so they can't dragon fire. But if they haven't played Anduin yet, they can just do that. So, but I think it's okay. It's board swing, and you also get dragons. But I don't think Mage gets any dragon boost for them being on the board. So. Her secret is using a gentle voice and carrying a baggie of hot dogs. Alright, that's Mage. We're going to Paladin next. Alright, so we've got the Drygold Jailer. Hard time. 6 to 10 turns for candle napping. You add 3 Silverhand recruits to your hand. I think that can be really good because sometimes Paladin can suffer with having just buffs in their hand but no one to use it on, and if they use this, you get a bunch of 1/1s for 1. So you can do that, or you can do this, and you can play Silverhand. There's actually, you can store up Silverhand recruits. That's the other thing, because there's stuff like this. So ding, congrats. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 and taunt. And I think there's been other stuff too, but just being able to have pretty much 1 mana 1/1s in your hand that you can play at any time to play into level up, or also you can play it into what's the card? You can play it into stuff like, I have it. Steward of Darkshire, so you can just play this and then play 1/1s with Divine Shield. You can play, that's it, the Stegodon. You can play, do I have a regular one too? Oh, I should probably disenchant one. You can also play Terran, that's the card I was thinking of. Terran with this and just make them all 3/3s. Or you can even just dino size one really easily. Like, I don't know, I think it's good. But we'll see. We'll see if that. Otherwise, it's like a kind of a weird Firefly, because it's a card that generates a card for your hand. But I don't know. I think this will play if these token Paladin decks take off. Summon a 2/2 tier with a spirit with taunt. Restore 3 health to upgrade. 3s are kind of a weird health pool to generate because generic heal that Paladin has is 2 with the sword, so they have to swing 2 times to get this off. And what's the, let me get that pulled up. And then every 3 you get another whatever with taunt. So on the base it's a 2/2 with taunt, which we have in standard right now as what guy? Where'd he go? Oh, I passed him, didn't I? Is it like Frostwolf something? Alright, there's a 2 mana 2/2 with taunt. I know there is. Alright, is it non-standard anymore? No, there has to, oh, I know why. Because I didn't have that. Okay, there it is. Phosphorus Grunt. Yeah, alright. So no one plays that. But a 4 mana 2/2 taunt. I just think healing for 3 is on it. The surface is hard, but did they get a card? Okay, that's right. They got that card to make it easier. But on its face, Paladin restoring health in intervals of 3 is kind of tricky. So I'll skip to this one real quick, I guess. Wish 1, funnel cakes. Wish 2, funnel cakes. Wish 3, funnel cakes. End of your turn, restore 3 health to your hero. A 2 mana and it's elemental. Oh, that's interesting. That's totally fine. It's interesting because I don't think Paladin will be healing for 3. How am I going to evaluate this card? What am I trying to evaluate? I think it's okay. So 3 mana 2/4, which is good stats, usually means it lives a turn. It'll probably get its effect off twice. It's an end of turn effect. I feel like there was a totem that did a very similar thing a couple of sets ago. It's like a 2 mana 0/3, and that didn't see any play. But maybe because this has attack and defense, or health and attack, it'll make a difference. But I don't know. Just healing in general is really good because it's on the surface. It does the same amount of healing as Farseer, but it can ramp up from there. Well, that was something. All right, that's okay. I was really disappointed with this. They introduced lifesteal last set, and there are no cards. There's one card with it, but like I saw this card, and there's nothing to support this card still, right? Because like you can give it to this guy, I guess, but like there's nothing good. Like this card doesn't get lifesteal until it's on the board. This doesn't get lifesteal on the board. Like that's a neutral card. Priest doesn't need healing in that capacity. I mean, maybe if there's like a Murloc lifesteal. It's bad. Sorry, I'm on a tangent. I want that card to be good. Give a minion 2/2 +2/+2 seems good. Give me a card to put it on. Don't just, I don't know. All right, that aside, what was I talking about? Oh, just because there's no lifesteal. So I was talking about healing. Give a minion Divine Shield draw card. I think this card's good. I don't think Paladin has any good drawing cards. It's kind of like how Priest has their 1 mana, powered shield. This is good. Pretty much gives you a reason to have a minion out there. Drawing a card's just huge. I don't think Paladin has a lot of drawing. That's not the Divine Favor, so I think that's fine. Let's see. We also have this card. So how this works is that when you draw it, it gains one of these effects randomly. I don't know how I feel about this. Obviously, it'd be a lot stronger that when you play it, you just discover one of these 4 effects. But because it just gives you RNG, right? Because let's say there's only one of these that is actually good for the situation you're in, or even 2 of them, right? Like, let's say these 2 are the good ones, then it's still like a coin flip to see if it's good or this card was just trash whenever you put it. Like, it's not good and you shouldn't have ran it in your deck, right? But it seems okay. The ways that it does it, it is kind of towards a minion focused deck. Like the Champion's Maul is probably one of the better ones because it kind of reminds me of like Mustard for Battle. Sacred Maul probably is the worst. Blessed Maul is okay, and excuse me, Purifier Maul is also probably okay. Sacred Maul sucks. That's probably like already like let's say 75% of the chance it's, I don't know, like it just doesn't seem like these 3 things are the same in the sense that it helps build your board or make your board more aggressive. Sacred Maul gives it taunt, means that it means you're probably running like a control deck and you need some more space. Oh, did I just... Here, one sec. One sec. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so we'll see. This one just seems different. I don't like it. Claw arms. Recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. I think that's good. I think it reminds me a lot of the card in Gadget Sand, which was small time recruits. You drew 3 1-cost minions, but then you gotta play them for mana, right? For 1 more mana, I'd rather just summon those 3 minions, right? Because let's say, so this would be 6 minions to get it all off, or 6 mana to get it all off. For 4 mana, you can get 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which means, where is it? Which is 7 mana. Or no, sorry, 9 mana. And so, like, you could do Call of Arms, and then for this, you can give them all Divine Shield or whatever, or just not Taunt, really. And then it's a good combo, right? For 7 mana, you have a bunch of, let's say you get 2/2s. You get 3 2/2s with Divine Shield, which I think is okay. Which is comparable to saying Doppelgangster and then giving them Divine Shield buffs. I don't know. Talked about this one. Seems good. Oh, did I leave flavor text? Well, all you have is an unidentified maw. Everything else looks like an unidentified nail. That's really funny. And more personal than a text to arms. I really like the Paladin Silverhand recruit decks. I think they're really cool. I think the idea of having just these twerpy guys that you have a lot of that you can buff up in a lot of new and interesting ways is really cool. 5 mana is an interesting cost because, let's say, what's it? It's in Gadget Sand too. Oh shoot. Where's the one where you can? Maybe it's in Goro. Nope. Old Gods, right? There it is. Alright, Sand Against Darkness. So for 10 mana you can get 5 3/3s with Divine Shield and Taunt, which seems pretty good. Because you can't just Flame Strike them. Other than like a Twisting Nether, it'd be hard to get rid of them, so I think that's good. I think it has potential to be just a good buff card. Crystalline costs 1 less for each Silverhand recruit you control, so if you have 3 of them in your hand, they represent an Innervate and a 1/1 for this guy, which seems good. And it also has Divine Shield. I didn't see that. That's cool. So I think this card's good. It reminds me of the Shaman that gets less for every minion or every totem you summoned. So I think this has potential to play if the Divine or if the Silverhand recruit decks get played. Alright, Death Rattle. Okay, so Death Rattle, give them in your hand +4/+2. When it dies, you equip this. So this lets you go pretty much infinite with this. Pretty much keeps getting you buffs, and then once you give the thing that buffs dies, then you get it again, which I think is cool. Excuse me. We'll see if Buff It In is the thing. And this card is super cool. I think it pushes the big thing it does is it pushes the quest for Paladin, which is Last Kaleidosauр, because it's so hard to cast 6 minions, and then once you do, like, you get nothing, right? Because normally all the value you put into that dies. So the idea of having 7 mana, right? Having this girl that you cast every spell on it, and so something else is cool. So let's say you play the Divine Shield, draw a card. When you play this card, you draw a card because you cast it. So it's just another target for silence. But if you have like 6 or 7, like, or, if you have 3 or 4 good silence targets, they're not going to be able to deal with all of them. So one of them will get through. I think it's a cool card. Alright, on to Priest. Copy a spell into your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. I think this card is good because it lets you draw cards and it's cheap. Like if this card is in like current Priest, I'd see it run because you can play this card, ping with your hero power. You get another card, play that new card, ping with your hero power. Right? Like it represents dealing 2 damage for 1 mana, based on having your Raza priest up. Dragon Soul. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. So that also helps this, because this is 1 spell and you can get a second one, and if you cast all of them, then you get a 5/5 dragon. Priest is turning into like a miracle machine, because they just are able to rotate, or cycle a lot of cards, especially with Lyra, and generating cards like with their 2 mana, whatever Ungoro card is, Shadow Visions. But I think that's okay. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it to play it, because normally I don't really care about having stuff on the board, but I don't know. Dragon Priest seems to be something they're pushing for again after like a year of not really paying attention to it, so we'll see how it goes. Also further pushes they're trying to push that Miracle Rogue. So getting a coin in general is really good. Getting coin where in a deck where you can use it to do 2 damage for free with your hero power, where you can turn it to something else with Lyra, where you can get a dragon out of it, right? Because it's a spell, you get mana. I think it's good. It's a 3 mana card, so 3 mana 2/2, so the stats are kind of weak for it, but I think it's worth it. So, Priest would want it to be a battle cry, but I think it's fine as a death row. We'll see if this gets played in like Lyra Priest or Raza Priest. Twilight Acolyte. If you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attacking with another minion. So this card is really good in a couple ways, because if they have a big old minion, excuse me, you can make this the big old minion, and then also Priest loves dealing with stuff that has 2, and let's say they have a Primordial Drake, and you play this card and you can Shower Paint it, or even like Potion of Madness. Oh shoot, Potion of Madness is sick with this card, because it's 4 mana, pretty much take control of any card you want, right? I think Twilight Acolyte's good, and if control Dragon Priest becomes a thing, this will be in it with, because how many times do you play against a deck where your Potion of Madness does nothing and they're just kind of sitting in your hand? Well, if you do this, you can do that. You can pretty much take something you want, and it just, I don't know, I think it's good. Twilight's Call. Summon 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game. This card's really interesting. Thinking of good Death Rattles, you can get like the statue is good. I can see this being good in Big Priest. If they're only Death Rattles, like there's also what other Death Rattle things do they play? I know there's one more. I'm just going to say the Obsidian Statue right now because it's easy, but Death Rattle minions don't really care about their stats. The good ones don't care about their stats, and they just want to make new ones, so you get their effects off, so I think this card's good. Alright, we have another do extra stuff card. Boom. Alright, so you gain a +2, you're giving minion +2/+2, which is okay. Priest doesn't really base its play off of making big minions, but let's see, give it lifesteal, which I think is okay, but I mean Priest doesn't need more healing. Divine Shield seems pretty good. +2/+2 on a 1/1 copy sounds really good. Like if you have like Radiant Elemental, you get 2 mana and you get another one, which seems good. Or even like a Lyra, that seems really good. And Elixir of Hope, which pretty much does the same thing. So these two are kind of different in where they just try to get like supreme value out of it, and then these two are kind of stinky. So having pretty much a 50-50 of like just have a good solid statted minion that has an effect, or have a minion that that adds additional value, whether summon another copy of it or pretty much get another copy of it anyways. I just don't like these being random. because like let's say you're aiming for these two, you have a 50-50 shot of just it being almost dead in your hand, right? I mean, the Vine Shield's good. Lifesteal, I'd say this one's like the worst off the bat, but it could save you for sure. But it seems if these were all like trying to make the same statement, it'd be good, but they're just all so different. I haven't been reading any of these. The dragon mostly keeps you around as a snack. All right. You're hearing a coin rattling inside the slot You hear a coin rattling inside the slotted gargoyle. What could it mean? Here, taste this. What is it? I don't know. I found it in one of the labs. And if you experience resurrection sickness, press 1. All right. This card seems good. So, first of all, priests are always holding a dragon, right? And they already have a board clear. A couple board clears, actually. And so this guy says, oh, if you summon me, you can destroy, like, all the wolves that are on the board. Are all of those Silverhand recruits that your opponent was going to buff next turn for free. And you get a 3/3 body out of it. Like, that seems good. If it's... It could have an issue of scaling to late game, but I mean, it's still just a dragon, right? I don't know. If it's like if you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to a minion, I could see that being... Okay, I don't know. We'll see. This seems powerful, and it seems like something that priests didn't really need, but it got anyways. Alright, got another one of these. Alright, Lesser Diamond Spellstone. So every time you resurrect a minion, you cast it. Oh wait, sorry. You resurrect 2 different friendly minions, and then you can cast this to upgrade. 3 different friendly minions, and then 4. So casting spells is really easy. Anyone can do it. That's why they made it 4. Resurrecting random minions can be really good if, for example, you're playing Big Priest, because you know that your minions are really good for their mana costs, and you're already playing a bunch of spells anyways because your deck is mostly spells. So this, I could see this being really good in Big Priest because they only have like 2 resurrection tools right now, and yeah, that's it. I could also see like if the only minions in your deck are like Prophet Velen and Malygos, this being really cute. It'd probably be Prophet Velen, Malygos, because you could play this for 7 mana. You'd have, and then if you cast 2 smites, each smite is doing 4 plus 6, 12. Each one's doing 12 damage, and then also Mind Blasts are doing 20. So that's really good. I'll probably play around with that. Oh, what did this say? Waking up at the break of dusk is not just as impressive. That's me every day. Alright. Psychic Stream, shuffle all minions. Oh yeah, okay. Once again, like, more board clear for priests. So, luckily it goes into your opponent's deck, which is interesting because then also your minions go there, but it just seems unnecessary for priests to get like so much board clear right now. Like I could see this being played over like Dragonfire Potion or something, just because it doesn't matter that. Like it matters so much because if your opponent's playing aggressive, sure, it gets shuffled back in your deck, but then they also only have like 2 cards in hand, right? So, which means it's also more diluted for them to get like a Soulfire or something they need to win the game. So, I don't know. And this is the other super weird card. So, your opponent takes 2 turns, and then you take 2 turns. So, if you're feeling really good about yourself and you don't think you can lose, and then you can set up a 2-turn lethal yourself, this card's good. I'm trying to think of what would be the 2-turn lethal? Like, would it be like Alexstrasza and then yeah, it'd be like Alexstrasza and then you already have 8 damage on board, and then like Mind Blast? I don't know. Seems really good also from the sense of like just what Raza Priest does anyways. We'll see if it does anything. Follows adventurers seeking the ultimate time magic, the ability to reload. Alright, Rogue time. Alright, Kingsbane. This is their weapon. It has a soft spot for Emperors. This card is really cool because when it dies, it gets reshuffled, and it keeps any enchantments that it's given throughout the game. So if it's given, like, let me just look. I want to see all the rogue enhancements in standard. So what can it do? Oh, so first of all, I bet it's super interesting with Doomerang, right? Because you can Doomerang and then it keeps its stuff, right? But does it... I'm wondering how that works, because if it gets shuffled back into your deck, does that mean this version gets shuffled into your deck? What other buffs can you do to minions? You can give it lifesteal forever, which is cool. You can give it poisonous forever. You can... So is that it? You can give it +2 attack with Celestial Squid Face. I think I already said it, but +2 with Deadly Poison, which makes Lucky Dude Buccaneer better. I guess you could Valier into more, and then if I look at weapon, I wonder how this card works too. If I can get Kingsbane with all their stuff. You can also Naga Corsair for +1/+1, and Greenskin, and I guess that's it. So I don't know. We'll see. It's nothing. There's not like a bunch of it, but back to this. So next card, which makes it way better, I feel like a lot of people are like, is that you draw a weapon and you add it to your deck. So if you only have Kingbanes in your deck, congratulations, you get it in your hand, and that's super good. Even like late game, you play this, you get a 1-mana 5/3 weapon with lifesteal and Envenom. Like, that's good. So I guess the only thing I have about Kingsblade is that Kingsbane is that it makes your hero power useless, right? You're not going to be playing your hero power ever because you don't want to destroy this thing. So I don't know. They call her the Candle Vandal. All right. Cheat death reported. So Rogue also get secrets this way, or this set, which is completely new. They cost 2 mana, like Hunter Secrets. When a friendly minion dies, return to your hand. It costs 2 less. So this is pretty much saying it's a Shadow Step, which is interesting. I don't know if it's a 2 mana. Everything about this is worse than Shadow Step, except for the minion dies first, right? With Shadow Step, you don't usually get the full value of the minion, but I think it's interesting. We'll see if secrets take off. Alright, so this card's very interesting. It's kind of like Ice Block, except for it's the first time you take damage, you become immune. So if you want to set up, like, let's say it's turn 8, and in turn 9 you have your Death Knight, you want to play this first, and so you can live some damage and then do some damage. So we'll see if this is any good. And Sin Betrayal, when a minion attacks your hero, instead of attacks one of its neighbors. So this is good for, like, this can do like a 2 mana trades, and this can have a lot of like Potion of Madness effects, but it's a bit random and it can be played around, but I don't know. It's kind of, it reminds me of just like the actual card Betrayal. But no one plays as this card, even though this can get 2 damage off and is based off of positioning. So alright, this is the other legendary. After a friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy to your hand. It costs 1. I think this card is really good because you can just it just has the ability to give value very easily. The fact that you can have a board and then play this 3-mana card and pretty much get all your cards back is really cool. Rook has a lot of good Battlecry minions anyways, and so the ability to get them back again. So let's say you have this and you have like like Shaku or I can't believe I'm blanking on this card's name. Bone Mare. Jeez. You get Bone Mare, you can get Bone Mare back after it trades with its 5 somewhere. Alright. Next one, Elfin Minstrel. Draw 2 cards from your deck. Rogue doesn't really have any draw cards right now, so this is good for that niche. It's a 4-mana 3/2, which is a little bit lower than its curve. But to be able to draw 2 cards and then combo for 2 more cards seems really interesting. Though as a 4-mana combo card, those are usually a bit harder to get off, so we'll see if they're any good. I'm trying to think what kind of deck would want this card. And I guess I don't know. It seems interesting. We'll see if its high mana cost is worth the drawing 2 cards. So this is kind of like the opposite of Beneath the Grounds. It's a 4-mana 4/4, which is good. You shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck when drawn, summon a 4/4. So this has synergy with Minstrel because let's say you play this, you just draw 2 cards and you might even summon a 4/4. So I just don't know if filling your deck with 4/4s is really the best. I don't know. Okay, 4-mana 3/3. When this thing dies, you can make anything look like a candle. You summon a 1 copy of a minion from your hand. So I think this card would be good. Something they've been kind of pushing for is like a they've been pushing for a Death Rattle Rogue, but at the same time they haven't been really adding Death Rattle cards that much, right? Because these are all Battlecry. Like, I guess they do have some Death Rattle. They're getting better about it, but like, but you see that with like Roll the Bones is a good example of it, and regardless. So if this is a Death Rattle that makes another thing that can also have a good Death Rattle, right? So let's say you have this guy and you have another Kobold and Lucinish in your hand. Well, guess what? You get another 1/1 that when it dies, it makes another 1/1, right? That's okay for 3 mana. Or like you get, I don't know what it'd be good with. It's interesting though. We'll see if it's any good. We have, let's see. Oh, not that one. There we go. Alright, so every time you just play a Death Rattle card. Okay, sorry, this was the other Death Rattle thing. You get to, every time you play a Death Rattle card, you get to destroy 1 more minion. I'd say almost, it's really interesting because, and it's based on pretty much how Hearthstone works in the UI, but you can't target two things, right? So the first one lets you target, the second one just lets you destroy two, and then the third one's just like, these two are random, and this one's set because you can select one thing, but you can't select two things. But this card seems interesting. It offers some board clear for summoning. If you summon 6 minions while this is in your hand, you get to do that. On its face value, I think what mana is Assassinate? Assassinate's 5 mana, right? Yeah. Okay, so face value, it's Assassinate, right? Which is okay. The card saw play a little bit, but mostly got outplayed by Vilespline, right? Because Vilespline is 5 mana, like, it's Assassinate on a 3/4 body, and getting a combo off isn't that terrible. So we'll see if that gets played. I don't think it will be. I think it'd be tough. It mostly just depends if Death Rattle Rogue is a thing, and I don't. It's so hard to say, but I don't think it will be. We'll see though. We will see. I also see like kind of like Death Rattle, like something with this being able to do a bunch of cards or a bunch of damage based on it. Like if you make this thing a copy in your hand as a 1/1. And then so it costs 1, and you play like 5 other cards and make a 5 damage. That even sounds bad though. I don't know. Seems bad. I think that's it for the rogue cards. Let's go. Did I read any of the? I don't care about that. Okay, I did. I don't like these ones because they're not funny. I'm not gonna read them because they're lore. Or they try to be lore. So, anyways, alright. Shaman right off the bat, Unstable Evolution. This card's super interesting. So, it's like a pick and choose your own adventure kind of evolve, right? Because, like, a lot of times you play Evolve and then you get something that really sucks and you can't do anything about it. So, this lets you just pick one. And so, for 10 mana, you can essentially get 10 mana on the board, too, right? Because it's like that, and so you can keep evolving until you have something you're satisfied with. You can even get like a charge, ping it, and then make it something better too. So I think this is really interesting. I think you'll see an Evolve Shaman as another option to evolve something. I could even see it taking the place of Evolve, maybe, or at least give a reason to take out the 5 mana doppelgangsters and instead put these in, and so you have more combo potential. This card's silly. 2 mana, deal 8 damage, overload 3. So that's a lot of damage for 2 mana. That's like 2 flame cannons that you get to choose where they go. So overload 3 is the reason why, because it's such a punishing card. And I think it's to help also with some of the shaman, stuff. But yeah, that's very interesting. Also, this would do good with the giants that get less when you overload stuff. But I don't know. I've tried overload decks before, and they're kind of difficult. The truly interesting candles take years of quiet computation. A 1/1 that makes a basic totem, which is okay. We had it based, like, we had long ago. We had this guy, which got nerfed to summoning a random totem, basic totem, because it could get like totem golem and just win you the game. And so, 2 mana. So I think it's okay. There's been some totem support in this setup, so just having an extra totem is good. Oh, and you get to choose the basic. Oh, I didn't see that. Choose. Okay, that's a huge difference. I'd say that's That's even good. So if you want spell power, so this could be a 2 mana like spell power or heal, or if you need like an emergency taunt. All right, that card's good. I like it because you get to choose. Battle Cry. Your next Battle Cry this turn triggers twice. So I think this is really interesting. A lot of people like Bran, but Bran is really good in other decks. Like, can Shaman actually make anything? Let's see. Battle Cry. So you can summon 2 Golem Jade Claw things. You can unlock your mana twice. You can reduce the cost of elementals in your hand twice. You can, I guess you can summon 2 Hermit things. You can restore 12 health. That's good. Or 6 health. You could transform your minions twice with that. That's good. Dealing 3 twice, getting Jade Chieftain twice. I think that's good, cause especially this elemental. Because let's say you can do this in the Calamos. Is it this turn? Okay, but you can still do this into Calamos, and then just get like huge value off that. So I think this has some combo potential. I think it's something you can kind of build a deck over and around. Healing Rain, restore 12 health, randomly split around all friendly characters. If you don't have anything on the board, it restores 12 health to you. That seems good. I say this card's good for healing that essentially Ancestral Healing used to be, which it doesn't have anymore. Give your minions Ithral, summon a random basic totem. I think this is good just for the fact that it keeps your stuff around. You go really wide with Shaman decks, and so giving it all that remained from the first Kobold colony, a single talisman, and the word Flame Strike. It just allows you to go wide and keep a board, unlike the other card that they have on this set, Zangoro. It's kind of like Spirit Echo, but Spirit Echo returns it to your hand. This keeps it on the board, which I think is more important. Like, keeps stuff on the board. So, I think it's good. I think people will make decks around this, and they'll get it every once in a while, but I think it's hard to get all 4 totems. They've added new ways to get totems, but I don't know. This card is really interesting. I feel like this should be like a rogue card, but excuse me. But it's a Shaman card. It's an elemental, so that's cool. So you can play it, and if you have any elemental stuff, you can replay it. Also, it keeps their stats, which is really cool. So, like, let's say I see like some like elemental Jade Shaman going up with all this like Battle Cry stuff. Cause this, okay, so you play this, you get 2 of these, or you turn this to your hand, but you get 2 of them with the copy. Then you play another one for 1, and then the next thing you play triggers twice. So I see some kooky combos with these too. We'll see if they get realized. I'm gonna bring this up. I really don't get this card. I don't see what they're trying to do with it. I'm not seeing why you want overload. Okay, I guess you could like overload like the 2/8 and then summon 3 things. Like if you played, it's just what the big thing for me is that 7 mana, right? And so that means like, oh, I need what's something for 3 mana that I want 3 copies of, right? And that's hard for me to see. Because I like safe combos that you can play with 10 mana or less, right? Without anything on the board. And this makes it so you have to have a board, which can be tricky, of something good, right? And you have to overload a bunch. I don't know. I guess you could do this, and if you overload a bunch and you get your overload giant, if you get your overload giant, this guy down to 0, then you can get 3 Overload Giants, but I guess that's a deck. We'll see if that gets realized. Oh, not all cards. And their legendary weapon. After your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. I mean, that seems fun. That's all I have to say about it, though. It's like Goro had this card, which is exactly the same thing, and no one plays it. And as a weapon that you can't swing with without you risking the entire game sometimes, I don't know. We'll see if it gets played. I guess, I don't know. It seems kooky. We'll see if it works. We're on to Warlock. Death Pack, Dark Pack, destroy a family minion, restore 8 health to your hero. I think this is really good. I think it's healing that Warlock needs and doesn't have. I think destroying minions is okay. I feel like... Do I have any? Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's a good card. And there we go. Especially with this. Like, if you have this card... I'll get back to that card. That card's interesting. Kobold Librarian. This card's good. You draw a card. You play your hero power for 1 mana. You don't use your hero power, and you get a 2/1 body off of it. I think every Warlock deck's going to play this card. Vulgar Homunculus. Deal 2 damage to your hero. 2 mana, 2/4 taunt. I think is good. It's a demon, which is good. If it comes back with your... It's a taunt minion that comes back from playing your Death Knight. I think this card's good. I think it will be played in control decks. Or even... I mean, it's a 2 mana 2/4. Who cares? If you're aggro, play this card. Protects your 1 mana card. Doesn't die. Destroy all minions, discard your hand. This card seems... okay. Like, it's good, I guess, in... So, obviously, what you hear when you see this card, you see Lucari Sacrifice, and so it's good with, if you look at all cards, oh, standard cards, so it benefits from this. This won't, because it won't be on the field when you actually play it. You can play there's Zavas, I guess, and yeah, I guess it's just Zavas and Silver Orc Golem, right? So, like, if you want, like, a way to, like, flip the game for you to activate your hero power, it's good, because nothing else really activates when it's discard, right? Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. So, I guess you might see it in, like, a control version of Discard Lock, but I don't know. Because it's Deathwing without Deathwing on the board for 4 mana. And then you can hero power and play something for 4 mana, or you can play your Portal for 5 mana, and you get 2 3/2s. We'll see if Disco Lock makes sense. Hook Reaver, if you have 15 or less health, gain 3/3 and taunt. I think this is cool. It reminds me of the Draconoid thing. Like, this could be really good if you're trying to, like, even aggressive decks would use this, because you're probably going to be low on health anyways, and just being able to get a 4 mana 7/7 out sounds really good. So I can see this in kind of aggressive decks, but also you can play this, and then you can play this, and then you'll be above 15 again. No, that's bad. Let's see. Takes damage from your cards to upgrade. So this only, you need to take only 1 damage, and then, which is easy to do with Warlock, like super easy. I see 2 of these being run in control warlock too. Lifesteal, because like play this, draw a card, and then play this and deal 5 damage to a minion in lifesteal, right? That's super easy. Even like this card, like there's so many ways to deal damage to yourself, and then being able to. I think this was one of the better one of the spell stones, so we'll see if it gets played. All right, possess lackey, death rattle, recruit a demon. I think this card's very interesting. There is, all right, I'm gonna unfriend that guy. He just only asked me if I have this. Where are you at? Can I unfriend? Oh, I have to be in the app. Dang it, divination. That's all he does. He just tells me. But he made the review. Good for him. Let's see. Sorry about that. Yeah, it makes like big druid a thing, or big warlock a thing, right? Because you play this, and then on turn 6 you get a Deathwing, right? That's the grand prize always, and then it's easy to kill, so it'll be interesting. You can even possess lackey, cataclysm, and then you can get Deathwing for 9 mana. That's the play, right? You get that for 9 mana, and then you've won the game. Skull of Minari. Don't trust the skull. What does it say? If you don't keep up with your payments, it'll be repossessed by lackeys. Start your turn, summon a demon from your hand. This would be 100 times better if it was the end of your turn. But this is really good on like turn 5, 6, and 7. And then after that, it's kind of bleh. Because you don't get, normally you spend your turn, like, I don't know, you kind of run out of resources to keep having stuff to play, and then you also don't get to attack with the thing you just summoned either, because it just summons. So I mean, you get Jiraxis, which is cool, but alright, Rin, let me get this card up. Alright. Alright, so you play this card, you get a 2/2. You play this card, you get a 3/3. So turn 10, you're getting 5 mana of stats. Then your second turn, you play this, you get a 4/4 and a 5/5. Cool. And then on turn 3, you get a 6/6. And then on turn 4, you get to destroy your deck. So that's a lot. That's 4 turns at the fastest that you can pull this off. That's a lot of turns, and that's tough to do. And definitely, I mean, you get minions for it, but that is commitment. And we'll see. It has 3 attack, which is important for a later part, but right, because I think it's important because you can guarantee get this out of your deck, but it does have taunt too, which is nice. I don't know, it seems janky, and I think that's the point. And there's Void Lord. I love this card. I think it's really great. It's a taunt death rattle. I love taunt death rattles, and it summons 3/1/3 taunt death rattles, or taunt minions, and you can get this back with, it's a taunt thing that you can get back with your Death Knight, and then it gets other stuff with your Death Knight. I think this card's good. I think it's a good card. 9 mana is kind of awkward, but I think it's really good for control decks. Never let it hold your checkbook. Alright, Warrior turn. Blade Gauntlet. And so I think this card's really needed. Warrior is caution, do not scratch nose. Warrior doesn't have any death threat, or doesn't have any 2-mana weapons anymore, so it's good in that regard. Can't attack heroes, which is good because, and then they can get it super high because you can get armor, which is a lot of the theme of Warrior this set. This guy's really good, so if your opponent's going wide, you punish them by getting 2 armor, and then, like, let's say they have 3 minions, you play this, and then you play this, and then you have a 6/2 weapon that can destroy one of their minions, and you have 6 armor. So I think that's good. This card's really interesting. People are talking about it in aggro, because so when it attacks at the beginning of your turn, that's its attack for a turn, so it can't attack again. So it's not super great, but it's not broken, but just pinging 4 damage somewhere on turn 3, 4, or 5 just seems really good. So anyways, what is best in life? To make candle, to keep candle, to hear lamentations of candle takers. Kobolds use anything for armor: pots, pans, garbage cans, even other kobolds. Reckless Flurry. Spend all your armor, deal that much damage to all minions. Look, cautious flurries will only get you so far in life. So this is board clear for Warrior. That's a one card board clear, because most of Warrior's board clear is Brawl, which isn't consistent and still have stuff on their board potentially and destroys yours. There's also there's like Sleep with the Fishies, but that's a 2-mana, that's a 2-card combo of like Whirlwind and that card. So it's really nice. The only downside is you lose all your armor, but I think that's worth it. Potentially worth it. You could have this card in your hand and have like 1 health and 29 armor, and like, well, I can clear their board, but I die. So I think it's good though. I think it's some good board clear that Warrior kind of needs to get back into control, and that's what I think like a lot of these cards are for, like getting back the old control Warrior. Warrior's just really, attack the face kind of stuff. So all right, gather your party. Thrilling adventure, danger guaranteed, loot uncertain, death optional. Who's with me? You get a recruit a minion from your deck, so it's like Barnes, right? And that's what anything that recruit does. It's kind of like it's actually like the strictly better version of let's see. All right, not strictly better, sorry. It's a 5/5 copy, so let's say if it's worse stats than 5/5, then it's better, but it's still really good. Like 6 mana, get like Deathwing, or like just getting a card from your deck that's big and can do stuff. Like you can use this and you get Grommash, and then it's good. I think does Warrior really have any? Let's look at these Warrior cards. I guess Warrior doesn't really have any like big like 9 mana cards that. Oh, okay, that doesn't count. Rotface kind of counts. I mean, Tarlord's good, but yeah, they'd have to be mostly on the generic high minion cards, but I think it can be good. Jim said Golem, taunt, 6 mana, 5/6 with taunt is just good already, and can only attack you with 5 or more armor, which is super easy because, I mean, it should just say like 3 armor. It's like having 3 armor because your hero power gets you armor anyways, so I think that's fine. Like this, and this card is one of their. Let me get this up. Alright, you gain 5 armor and one of these extra effects. You can get 10 more armor, so that's 15 armor. So that's 6 mana and 6 mana Reno, which is, I mean, it's Reno without the body almost, right? 6 armor, 5 damage, that's really good. 5 armor, 5/5. So this is kind of like 6 mana for half of UI, and then spike shield, which is 5 armor and a 5/2 weapon. So you can do like 10 damage. So I think it's good. I think it's a good card. I think all these have the same kind of thing of just generic value, right? Any of these are good, no matter what your board state is. So I think this is one of the better one of these bonus effect cards, because they all kind of want to do the same thing, right? It's one, I'd say, let me actually bring this right back. So the only one that's different is Tower Shield, which just gives you a lot of more heal. But all of these pretty much say put 5 damage on the board. These two say 5. This one says 10 with 2 swings, but these 3 are very good. And I don't even though this one's a bit different, I mean, getting 10 armor for free seems really good. Excuse me. If you compare this card, or the 10 armor, to the priest, what is it, the 4 mana gain 12 health. For 2 more mana, you get 4 more armor, or 3 more armor. So it's not efficient in that way, but still, like, it's a lot of heal, and like emergency heal. So I think it's good. Literature, Mistral Spellstone, equipping weapons to upgrade. I think this is kind of weird, because I don't think, when I hear equip weapon to upgrade, I think of like a more aggressive, because a lot of aggressives will be running a lot of weapons, and just summoning 5/5s seems kind of weak, but I guess it's like 7 mana 5 or 3 5/5s is good. I just, we'll see. This is bleh. Not bad, not good, just meh. Let's see if it gets played. What was the Kobold started a bundle for a long time. Aha! He said, it's a shield. Perfectly accessorize to attract adventures. Let's see. Oh. Once crafted a gauntlet out of earwax and pure ambition. Geosculptor. At the end of your turn, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor, up to 10. That's good. I mean, a 4/8 that gets you a 10 mana card is good. 8 mana, like, even if you just have 2, like a 4/8 in general for 8 is not bad, because that's the same stats of Primordial Drake without the taunt. And then just being able to continuously summon stuff, I think this card's good. I think it has its place. This is the obvious recruit card. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. So turn that frown into 2 frowns. So it's easy. Just, you have 3 damage, you do 3 damage somewhere, and then you get to summon Deathwing. I don't know. So the only thing I don't like about big warrior is that it doesn't have any, like, it has to depend on neutral big stuff, right? It doesn't have a lot of good big stuff all by itself, so we'll see if it can be fine with that. Alright, and then we're down to the neutral cards. Alright, Dire Mole, a 1 mana 1/3 beast. They should have made this card a hunter card, right? Like, super good hunter card. It's a 1/3 beast. Like, if you look at hunter right now, and part of the reason why I think it's so weak is if you go to the 1 mana cards, nearly all of them have 1 health that are, only the good ones. Firefly is an exception, but it's not a beast. Like, and then there's Hungry Crabs, but Hungry Crab, you don't see this unless you get Murlocs, and that's it. Like, so Hungry Crab, I guess, is the exception. I forgot about Hungry Crab, but yeah. Besides Hungry Crab, there's no way for. There's no 1/3 for beast, right? There's only 1/1s for hunters, right? They buff their attack like there's 2/1s. There's lots of 2/1s, but They don't have something that can survive, and just the ability to have this 1/3 that turn 2 you can consistently buff in a way of either Razor Maw or I don't know, like just a 1 mana 1/3 is good for Smuggler's Crate because you can Smuggler's Crate and play it. It's a 3/5, so I think it's okay. Anyways, where was I? Alright, Fel Gibbler. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy to your hand. This kind of seems more... So this is super good on turn 1. That's about it. It reminds me of the Tiller. And no one plays the Tiller. Because it gets value off of attacking. So 1/1, it's something that's really... I don't know, it has to attack, and it's really easy to get rid of. And getting another 1/1 seems meh. So, we'll see. Gravel Snout. Oh, what's this say? You especially don't want to make a dire mountain out of a dire molehill. That's funny. Just bleh. You're right, Hayden. I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to Hayden. It's certainly not civilized gibbering. Alright. The Mole of La Mancha rides again. So 1 mana 2/3. We've seen these be good before. Mostly Zombie Chow. There are... So there's... What is it? If you look at all 1 mana cards right now. What are the bad ones? Change of Raven's kind of bad to get. Just a minion too. You can get Fiery Bat, which you can pretty much trade with it. Let's see, what else? Mana Worm would suck. Jump's okay. Protector's kind of would be bad. Oracle would be bad. Cleric would be good. Dust Devil would... Dust Devil is the worst. It deals 3 damage and would be able to destroy it. Flame Imp obviously is bad. Possessed Villager is alright. Voidwalker would suck. What else? You could give them Hive Queen, and then they wouldn't be able to trade, and they wouldn't be able to play their 2 mana thing. That's funny. So I'd say on average, it wouldn't be something that you can trade into it, so which is good, based on looking at all those cards. I could see you playing it in. I mean, even in control decks, it's okay. I don't know. We'll see if it gets played. This one's really interesting. So, 1 mana 0/2 Taunt Divine Shield. So, this is one of the few Divine Shield minions have they ever had a Divine Shield minion with 0 attack before? I don't think so. I'm going to do it. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see if I'm wrong. Divine Shield. No. Wait. No. Alright, cool. I'm right. I'm the winner. So I can see this being just a good Paladin card because it reminds me of the Paladin 1/2, and obviously you want to buff it. Sorry, not the 1/2. 1/1. I mean, it's a Neurotron for 1 less health, or 1 less attack, which is meh. You can also discover this off of... They could be just doing this to make the Shellraiser... No, Stonehill Defender. Jeez, I think I said Shellraiser earlier. The Stonehill Defender can find this, which is good because it blocks 2 things, which I guess you can all you'd want. Even if you just need, like, I could see this being good in like even aggro druid, just because it gets you something on the board you can buff later. Like you could play Firefly, coin this, and then you could play another Firefly and buff things. So just the thing to have something really sticky on turn 1 they can buff later. That's the point of this card, from what I've seen. I think this card's good. You'll always use armor. Like, what's the... Takes double damage from wick-based weapons. Okay, your party has defeated the beetle. I put it on my head. What? I put it on my beetle. Like a hat. Alright. I mean, just being able to heal yourself as a neutral card's good. Warriors and the new druids will take care of it. Having the beast tag will also help druid a bit. I think it's okay. Alright, I think the only mech in this... Let's see if I play this game again. Yes, I win again. Battlecry, destroy a minion with 1 or less attack. That's fine. You play this, you know, turn 1 you play Firefly, turn 1 they play Firefly, you play this, you win, right? You get your Firefly trades with their Firefly. Other than that, it's okay. It's not exciting to me right now. It just seems solid. Good arena card, probably. Boisterous Bard. Give your other minions +1 health. So I could see this in, like... Aggro Druid. You play the 2/5. Or you play the 1/5 and you play this and you get plus health. It's the 1/6. But... we'll see. Dragon Slayer. So this is like just a hard counter against priest decks. It looks like they, instead of waiting for a deck to be broken, you can do this. You can destroy the 5/6 whatever is it, Draconic Operative with this, but seems boring. Smells like bad game design. Oh, what was it? Dang, I keep forgetting to. As a kid, she fought with rocks. Now she fights with rock. Back in the day, we had we had to manually scorp. A pair of Thort dwarves nearly averted the cataclysm. Alright, Battlecry. Restore 2 health to all friendly characters. Qualifications: born with pointy hat. I like neutral heal effects. It doesn't do stuff good for your stuff, but isn't there a neutral card that does this too? Yes, alright. So it does the same thing. Restore 2 health to all friendly characters. Is it the same? Okay, it is the same text. Consistency alert. But seems okay. Seems bleh. I don't think it'll get played because restoring 2 health to your hero doesn't really do much. If it was give +2 health, that'd be a lot better, but meh. Battlecry, just deal 3 damage randomly split against all enemies. Oh, okay, enemies. Because I was supposed to be like, oh, is this just Mad Bomber? Horrible secret, the darkness is immune to arcane missiles. Yeah, so it's pretty much a arcane missile on a 2/1 for 1 more mana. So also solid, man. This card will be good in arena and like nothing else. I don't think it'll be played. We'll see. I like this card. This card's really interesting. I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, this card looks really cool, but not play it. But just the fact, like, if you are a control deck and your opponent is ramping out stuff and you don't have stuff, you just play this card, you just run 2 of them, and it's a 2/4, and it deals 4 damage. It's at least 4 damage. It soaks up, at least 5 damage, and It's like Tar Creeper, right? It does the same thing that Tar Creeper does, but I think this card might do it a bit better. So, I think it's good. Ravaging Cobalt, Battlecry, turn one of your destroyed weapons to your hand. I am very curious how it works with this card, if it keeps the enhancements or not. But I don't think it would, based on what the writing is. But if you have, you could just be really stupid. You could get Gore Howl, attack with Gore Howl, and then play this, and then that's 14 damage over 2 turns for 17 mana. So that's a lot of damage. Any other? Oh, also fact, if you play Atiyesh and it gets destroyed, you get to play this and you get it back. And I don't know how much mana Atiyesh costs. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. It's a 3 mana 1/3, so that's really good to just have it in your hand. Alright. Alright, so summon a 2/3 rat. So this is... so there's a card in basic right now. Where's basic? Which is a 2/3 that summons a 1/1 boar. And people don't play this card because it sucks. Now the only difference between the two... oh, not these. Okay, so why this card's different? Presumably the giant rat is a beast. Let's see if there's a card image for it yet. Nope. Presumably it's the beast, so the only difference is that this card, the beast becomes the 2/3 instead of the 1/1. And so the more valuable thing gets the beast tag. Worst case, it sucks on itself because, like, if you try to evolve into a 3 mana thing and you get this, it's a lot worse. What's the other thing? His clothing is ratty in more ways than one. He's a champion with no friends who keep on fighting till the end. Broken Longsword is brand new short sword. Kobold proverb. I already got the Shrieking Shroom, auditioning for next fungal idol. At the end of your turn, summon a random 1-cost minion. I looked at all the 1-cost minions. They seem alright, but nothing crazy. If you want a wide board, this card's good, and then they have to destroy it. But it could be a 1/2 that summons a 1/1. It just has a priority target on it. So, meh. Good in arena, probably not constructed worthy. Alright. I like this card. I think it's cool. I thought it was a 2/2 though. No. Mage kills it, but just the ability to... this is a good arena card. I don't think it's good in actual. We'll see though. Toothy Chest. Start your turns to this attack. Minions attack to 4. I think this card is really good on curve because you get to just do that. Oh, also you can get this card off of... alright, quick, I gotta do a quick 0 attack check. Zero attack, 0 attack. The reason I'm checking for this is for... alright. It's like Validated Doomsayer, but it's a 4/4 instead of a 7/7. And it's good with Meat Wagon. That's about it. Moving on. Wood Ripper, swap the attack and health of all minions. So this is Confuse on a minion. It's probably, like, it's a priest card, right? But I guess you could also, like, if you try, if aggro druid turns to, like, summon a bunch of tokens with high health and then finish the game with just flipping all their defense to attack, that would work. This also just allows another way for, like, Divine Shield and a Fire Priest to do stuff, so I think I can see it in those decks, but it's kind of continuing an archetype that exists. Soul of the Gorgon, a battle cry, choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy to your hand. This card's good. That just gives a copy of a card. I can see it in like immediately like Raza Priest because it gets you another card for a card. You can play this, you can get Raza, you play Raza again. That's super good, right? 2 Raza potions are way better than 1. So, and it's golden, so your new potion will be golden too. But just the fact that you can ping for 2, play this, ping for 2, summon what you summon, ping for 2. If it's a Firefly, guess what? You get so much more stuff, right? Like it just keeps going. It's a battle cry that makes helps out battle cry minions. So oh, Soul of the Gorgonzola. I get it. That took a minute. This card's good because it's a 5/1 that summons a 5/1. However, the reason I want to look at that is, what's the druid say? Summon. And that's... Summon is different than play, right? Okay, yeah. So if you summon it, then when you death rattles... So that card's super good in 5 attack druid, right? Because it counts as 2 ticks. And it's a turn 4 tick. Yeah, summon. Alright. So that takes care of 2 of the ticks. And it's just... You have to take 2 hits to get rid of. I think this card's good, and I think it will help enable Quest Druid. If it will make Quest Druid good, probably not. Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand by 2. Alright, so it's a dragon, so it makes you think you want to do it in Dragon Priest. However, you look at this one, and it's already 3 mana, so why would you run that card? It's 4 mana, so, I mean, it's okay. 4 mana, 3/4 dragon, I guess, because there's not a lot of mid-range dragons. Except for, like, Twilight Drake is a lot better on 4 mana, so... I don't know. Hunting Dragon, give your opponent 2 coins. This reminds me of Hungry Dragon, which is... the same stats. Except for you get to summon your opponent a 1/1 at the beginning. However, since this is a delayed effect, I think it's better. Oh, jeez. I think if there's like a tempo version of... If there's a tempo dragon deck, this card is good because it's a 4 mana 5/6 with no downsize when it's summoned. And it can also... I don't know, I think it's good. Cobalt Monk, your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Oh, I have not seen this card. There is no candle. That's good. That could just be like the... Like if... what is it? Like the Alexstrasza mage, where you just try to do 15 damage in 1 turn. You play this, and then they have to take care of this first, which is cool. I mean, it just pretty much stops direct damage. So, or through spells and stuff. So, that's an interesting card. A lot of people have been talking about this one. This one's super interesting because Paladin really likes the can't be targeted by spells stuff, but it means you can't buff it too. So it's like a catch-22. So this fixes it by making it so only you can. I feel like if you play this card against like a priest or a mage, that card just literally lives forever. It also has the beast tag, which is super good. So if you play an aggro druid and then you can buff it and your opponent can't fireball it, right? I think that is good. What's the thing? A Corsair is a Corsair, of course. She's more of a unicorn than a horse. Alright. Shroom Brewer. A Battlecry, restore 4 health. Side effects guaranteed. This seems okay. This is just, it's Farseer, but +1 to everything. If that make a difference, maybe. Doubling 4 health is good. The effect is, I don't know. We'll see. Seeky Devil, 4 mana, 2/2 with stealth. I feel like this is the only card in this set with stealth. We're going to find out. It is, man, 3 for 3 today. All right. Your other minions have +1 attack. So for 1 mana more, it's a raid leader with 1 mana more, but stealth for that, and it's also a demon. And that's super good for the demon. Give a demon +3/+3, or like they should just make this card a demon card, honestly, or a warlock card. Sorry, it's a demon card, but I can see this in like warlock, demon lock. So. Alright, the super interesting, very cool card. My only question with this is if you get through like Barnes, what happens? Is it a 1/1? Is it just Starstorm? I don't know. Anyways, when this is summoned, you get 3 candles in your enemy's deck, and then when they draw them, it awakens it, right? And so this is good for a couple reasons. The big thing is, for me, is it adds copies of a card into your opponent's Raza deck, and then they can't play Raza, and that seems really good because there's no like counter to Raza Priest right now from that side. Now when it awakens, they can just play they can just play their hero power or their Anduin and get rid of it, but I think this is just a really interesting, very cool card, and definitely good for control decks and ramp decks, or not ramp, no decks, because it gives them a reason like why drawing is bad. So I like it. Arcane Tyrant, if you pass a spell that costs 5 or more this turn, it costs 0. I read that totally backwards. Tyrant is such a strong word. So it's it's an elemental, and it's something with a spell that costs 5 or more. So I initially see it with priest or with mage. Maybe shaman will see it. Shaman doesn't really have a lot of 5 cost spells because most of their spells cost less, and they play overload to balance it out. So maybe if there's like an elemental, I've been thinking about like an elemental priest, and having it cost 0 is cool. This card was one of the first cards that was announced, and a lot of people thought it was really cool. And being able to destroy a friendly minion and summoning 2 copies of it is really cool. Like you'll get some really cool effects off that. So expect some combos for this, but he's always grumpy until... Oh, there's a typo. Oh no, he eats his first barista in the morning. I found a typo. I'm the first one. Eggman did it. Found a typo. They're so good at that usually. I don't think I've ever seen a typo in Hearthstone yet, so... Oh. Alright, Corrosive Sludge. I mean, it is what it's ooze. And it's a 5 mana 5/5. Moving on. Fungomancer, 2 mana, or 5 mana 2/2. Give your adjacent minions +2/+2. So it's a 5 mana 6/6 with stats. A lot of people are comparing this to Bone Mare because it's this kind of similar thing, but it costs 2 less. Excuse me. Fungomancy is the easy major for those who can't cut it as Waxmancy. I can see it good for minions or boards that go wide. Bone Mare threw a lot of people out of the waters, or blew a lot of people out of the water, so we'll see what this does. Verblog, Mossbinder, Battlecry turns 4 friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental. So that's cool. I can see this in like Evolve Shaman, because you can play this, get a 6/6, and then I don't know. Play this into Unstable Evolution. Behold the unstoppable power of Moss. I feel like it can have like some niche, but we'll see. Green Jelly. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/2 ooze with taunt. I like this card. It reminds me a lot of. It's like a mix of like Hogger and Sledge Belcher, and Sledge Belcher is good, but Hogger's bad. So we'll see how this turns out. I think just the fact that it summons cards is cool. Guild Recruiter, recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. So it's a 5 mana 2/4 that summons like a 4/4. So it's a 6/8. Sure. The original telemarker. We'll see if it's good. Draw Gloom Eater, 5 mana 1/5. Taunt with Poisonous. It's okay. Like, it looks like it trades with one thing guaranteed. It can slow the game down a lot, and since it only has 1 attack, there's some stuff that's really good with that, but we'll see. Hungry Eden. How hungry can he be if he's eaten? That's what I thought. His breath smells like agony and despair, which is still better than most drugs. Alright, summon a random 2-cost minion for your opponent. So, this seems like a big old, like, I don't want priest to destroy me minion. It's a 4/10, which is nice. I feel like there's something like 6 mana. But if you summon this from your deck, there's no downside, which is good. It's just a big old 4/10 with taunt, which is better than Primordial Drake summoned from your deck. I see this card getting some play in like some of the big decks. Reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. So it's a 4/4 that summons. It can summon anything. 6 mana 4/4 is lower, but I think on average you'll get something that will make the stats worth it depending on what deck you play. I can see this in Mage. I can see this in like Big Druid. We'll see. Corridor Creeper. Costs 1 less whenever a minion dies with this in your hand. If it had better stats, like if the mana cost was 5 or was like 6. Or if it was like a 7 mana 7/7, but just a 5/5, that's like a less than curve 5/5 isn't really scary anymore, I don't feel like. So, but it is a beast, so it has that, but I don't know. Silver Vanguard, Death Rattle, recruit an 8-cost minion. So, floats like a dragon, fairy dragon sings like a hive queen. What are 8-cost minions you can get? What was the flavor text for this one? It smells like things curious as it has no visible nose. Oh, that's funny. Alright, so you can get an Iron Bark. You can get Grizzle Guardian, which is good. You can get Giant Sandworm. You can get Wither-Wisp. You can get that's bad. That would be good with it. You can get Ragnaros. You can get Tyrion. Tyrion sounds good. You can get Alkari. You can get Rotface or Geosculptor. You can get Charge Devil Sword. That one's good. That's a good one to get. You can get Gruul. You can get the Boogie Monster. You can get Lich King. You've got Violet Worm. Alright. My only gripe with it is that, like, if it was like 8 or higher, that'd be good, right? But since it's just specifically 8, I think it's not so good. Grand Archivist. At the end of your turn, cast a spell from your deck. Target's chosen randomly. So, okay. This card could be good if you're playing, like, only minions, and then you have, like, a damage spell. I'll check at the end, but, like, let's say you have Greater Arcane Missiles as your only spell in your deck, which I guess you wouldn't be doing if you were mage. I'll come back to this. Swap decks, oh yeah, you swap decks, and then you give a ransom spell to the swap back, and the ransom spell is, I think, 5 mana? Let's see. Alright, yeah, it's a 5 mana. So for 5 mana, you can have your opponent swap decks, and so back with you. Which means that that's just a weird card. I don't know if I can evaluate it. It's not, like, terrible, because I don't know. Because then they're drawing from your deck, and so your deck gets smaller, so when you swap back, it mills you later if you try to go for like a mill deck. I mean, I guess it's counter to mill. Because then you'll have their deck. And I don't know. This seems weird. It seems like a fun deck, or a fun card. 7/7, 1/1 grubs. I don't know what to say. Like, it is what it is. You got a minion to go super wide, and then if the grubs are beast, it can be I guess I can see it in, like, the hunter is the thing that. Alright, well, this isn't a beast, because if you had, like, if you played this and then you had Tundra Rhino out, you can just keep bashing into stuff, but I don't know. Dragon Hatcher. At the end of turn, recruit a dragon. So that's good. It's a 9 mana 2/4 though. So you can get this, and then you can get, like, your Sarah out or Malagos out. So it's pretty much says, you know, your Malagos and your Sarah gets a plus. You get a +2 or 2/4 minion with your Malagos as your Sarah. So your Sarah won't activate on the first turn. So I don't know. Alright, so Battlecry. Recruit a 1, 2, and 3 attack minion. I think this card is really interesting. That's last. Before I do that, so I'll do Sleepy Dragon. So it's a 4/12 with Taunt. Dragon, appreciate this card. Have fun with it, Priest. This is a really good card with Dragon Hatcher, because then, like, those two. Alright. His adventure party consists of Goldshire Footman, Frostwolf Grunt, and Hadronox. That's funny. But yeah, so you can get, like, guaranteed Hadronox off of this. You can get local villagers call her naps under the mountain. Okay, first dragon or the Dragon Hatcher. It's worms all the way down. Alright, so can I just even look? If I do that. Alright. Alright, well, we can't do any of that. Big thing for me is that, 3 attack you can get this guaranteed, and then also or one of these guaranteed, right? Like, out of your deck. And then also, what also has 1 attack is Like Tar Creeper is a good 1-attack minion, or... Alright, I'm just gonna go all the way through. This is it. This is the end game. Also, cast a random spell from your deck. So we're gonna look through those. We're just gonna look through all of these. That's a good 3-attack or 1-attack guy. No, look, that's bad. That's a good 3-attack guy. And I guess Wisp of the Old Gods is a good... I mean, with the random weapon or random spells is bad. Alright. 1-attack, 2-attack, 1-attack, 2-attack. But no, these are really... Let's see, any understated. That's a 2-5, so that's good, but like... Yeah, we're looking for... Knuckles is a 3-7, so that's a thing. Thunder Rhino is good, so if your only 2-attack thing is Thunder Rhino, and then you play that, you get charge, and then you also have charge with the 3-attack and a 1-attack. And let's say it's Infested Wolf, so that's a 3-attack. The only downside is you can't run anything with 2-attack, which would mean you wouldn't be able to play... Alright, I can see that working. That being really janky. But you can do that, and you have... That's a 1-1, so you can Thunder Rhino with a lot of damage. Alright, I'll do that. I'll concede. That's something you can do with it, alright? Don't have anything with 2-attack, but you can have these two, and... If this is your only 2-mana, or 2-attack guy, it's super good. And does Hunter play... I had a Hunter deck. Any other 2-attack minions? Okay, you have to take out Crawler for it to be guaranteed. And that's it. And Search Tracker. So, meh, whatever. Alright, back to Hunter. Call of the Wild would be a good card with random targets. Explosive Shot, I guess. Jeez. Pyrus is good too. You could get Radiant Elemental and Lyra. That'd be neat. Flame Strike's a good spell to play with no targets. Great Arcane Missiles is... Glacial Mysteries is meh. Pyroblast is dangerous. Blizzard is good. Tome is good. Okay. It's a good one. It's good too. That's a good one. Mana guys. So if you had... So this could be good with just getting Divine Shield guys out. Terram is meh because you want the ability, but... Oracle's good for 1 mana. Cleric's okay. Oh, is there any spells you want to cast with random targets? I mean, Stand Against Darkness is good. I guess I could see it in... I could see it in... Paladin, because then you could just... As long as you have the minions on board. Like you could summon recruits, or you could do... Oh. I'm not even looking at the new cards. You can summon it as taunt, or you can give a minion Divine Shield and draw a card. That's good. Real quick, let's go back through this. Fungal Lord is 2 attack, and so you can knock it down and copy a 1 mana card. I don't know. Alright. Ultimate Infestation's deadly with... I mean, it does 5 damage to something, but... Cave Hydra has 2. Alright. Mage. I wonder what happens if you get Shifting Scroll off like a Joust, right? Like if you have Shifting Scroll and then you play your Raven thing. What does it do? What's it cost? 0? 100? I mean 0, but like... Does it always lose? Do you never get Shifting Scroll in your hand? That's weird. Back to 1 mana stuff though. In spells you'd want random. I mean, makes sense. Get random that. I could see it in like... Okay, I can see that card... Is it only... Okay, it's 8 mana. So, like, in a secret deck, it'd be fine, too? Let's see. Let's just keep going. You want that as your 3 mana thing. That sucks as your 1 mana. Oh, shoot. That's a good 3 attack thing to do. So if like you have, I could see Paladin being okay with it, with either really, because that's a good 1 mana thing. All right, random spell. I mean that's a good random spell, right? 1 mana, 3 mana stuff. Those 2 battle cries. I mean, you get Soul Priest and you can clear the board. You get Shell Razor. Get Lyra. What else? J-Swarm is a good 1 mana thing to get, always, but... Get Edwin with no buffs. Rogue might be good with random spells because they just play... If they just play Razor Petal Volley, which would just add 2 Razor Petals to their hands randomly. Sap, which would always get an enemy minion. And Sinister Strike would always work too. I could see that kind of being janky but working. I wonder how combo works. Combo would probably always work too with head crack. Meh. And Thistle Tea would also work. And Sprint. I think I'd probably want Thistle Tea for the that guy. Nothing too obvious or interesting with the 1, 2, 3. Random spells. You can get Volcano. Yeah, nothing too fancy with the random spells in this one. Shaman already has too much random stuff going on. You get like Voidwalker. You get Darkshire Councilman, and you probably get the bust from the other two because it's 1, 2, 3. You can get any random good spells. I mean, you get Kazam. I mean, that's not random. Destroy minion. Yeah, that's a good 3 mana thing to get. I could see or you could also get Draxus. I could see that guy being good there. Any fancy spells, or I mean, that's a good 2/6 taunt. It's a good 1 mana card. If that's your only 1 attack card, that's good. Just always get that every time. Any good spells? Not really. You can recruit. And then any other good minions for 1, 2, or 3. I'm just going to skip to 3. Enchanter is really good, so like if you have that with like 3 mana or 2 or 3 mana end of turn effects, you can get like a really wide board really quickly. Get Morose. This guy Death Rattle. Battle Cry. Do. Get Meat Wagon, which get your 0 mana or something. You get Snapjaw. You could get Bomb Squad. Ooh. Skelemancer, I guess. Oh, this card was like a card that we had. I'll look it up in a sec. You get Gloom Eater for 1 mana and for 1 attack. You get this guy as a 3 attack. That's good. I could really see it in Taunt Druid. I could see that shine there. Just build taunts until the end of the game. This card's good. It doubles attack. And I think that's it. I mean, you could do that into Dragon Hatcher, and then Dragon Hatcher fights you a dragon. So that's good. No, I didn't think... Dare I say... What? The first disciple, you can get that guaranteed, and so you can start doing this stuff, but I think that's dumb, so. What was it? All cards. What was it? Yeah, they made this card. Okay, it's +2/+2. And the other one was +2 health, so. I don't know. That's all the cards. Those are my thoughts. I think this set looks to be fairly interesting. It's weird because all classes get a weapon, but it doesn't look like those will be as powerful as Death Knights or Quests have been previously for making decks. I think they just look like good cards. So, anyways, that's it for me. Set launches tomorrow. I'll be opening packs tomorrow, and just be making decks. So, I hope to see you guys there. Bye bye.